On this episode of Kilts and Culture with USA Kilts, we do something a little bit different. We try Japanese whiskey.
Hatozaki.
Howdy, boys and girls. Welcome to Kilts and Culture. I don't know why I said howdy. That sounded weird. Oh, well.
Doesn't sound weird to me.
Howdy. Welcome. I just pinned the mic. Welcome to Kilts and Culture. I promise we have not started drinking yet. I'm Rocky. This is Eric.
Yo.
He's back from the dead with a shaved head.
Yep.
To quote my House of Pain lyrics from 1990-something. Back from homework, for at least for the day. Eric's been working at home.
Technically still, according to the rules, I'm supposed to still work from home because I'm a computer person.
Yeah.
Most of the time. But yeah.
Yeah, ish.
Mm-hmm.
But Eric is back in studio today. We have Mac manning the board over there and answering the question, not answering, asking us the questions that you're asking to do things.
Yeah. He might answer a couple of questions.
That's true.
It's a good thing.
That's true.
I want to publicly say thank you to Mac, by the way, for helming things while I wasn't here. And
trying to keep your seat warm.
You guys did an awesome job. What?
So I just try to keep your seat warm.
It's so nice and warm.
That's creepy now. All right, boys and girls. Today, special treat. Hatozaki. We wanted to try a Japanese Scotch, or not Scotch, but a Japanese whiskey, just to see how they do it. They got a lot of whiskeys coming out of Japan.
Yes. I didn't know much about it. Do you mind if I get out some of my notes?
Sure.
Because I memorized some of the facts, but I can't remember the names.
You get out your notes, and I'll start. Here, I'm gonna do the official hand wipey mask thingy as I'm pouring everything for us.
Cool. Okay, thank you. So yeah, Japanese have actually been making whiskey since the early 20th century. It all started back in 1918 when basically Japan was trying to adopt and integrate and adapt and recreate all these aspects of Western culture in general because they were trying to make a great leap forward for themselves. And one of the things they did was they sent a guy to Scotland to study how whiskey was made. And this is where I got lost because I forget the names. Masataka Takasuru. And Takasuru was basically, he was a son of a family who had been in the sake industry for generations. And he was also a chemist. So he went to Scotland and was sent to study Scotch. And surprise, surprise, while he was there, he wound up falling in love with Scotch and became a total Scotch nerd. So he comes back to Japan and starts trying to make whiskey in Japan. And he teams up with a guy, and I forget his name too, Shinjiro Tori. And Shinjiro and him started a company which was called Yamazaki Distillery. That was the beginning of Japanese whiskey way back then. They then split up, artistic differences, I guess. And so Takasuru went north to Hokkaido and set up another distillery there because the conditions there were very similar to Scotland. So he was able to get clean water, easy access to crops, basically for malt and wheat and rye and all that stuff.
Do they use rice a lot more, or is that now they still use wheat and barley?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But Tori, basically, he stayed down in the south, and he established his own company called Suntory, which is actually a joke on his last name as Tori-san. He changed it to Suntory. And so, basically, the company that Takasuru started was called Nikka, and that was in 1934. So you had Nikka and Suntory, and those are the two major distilleries to this day in Japan, and they have been rivals ever since. What we're trying is not from either one of those, though.
Okay.
I
bought it at the Total Wine, and I just grabbed one because it was Japanese characters on there.
Yep. It's called kanji.
Okay. Fair. Thank you.
What we're about to try. Do you want to distribute now, or should I keep gabbing? Gab.
We can distribute. I want to get the drinking.
Okay. Yeah.
Here.
It's been a long time since I rock and rolled, so I'm totally down for this. So should I come over? I'll come over and get mine.
Yep. And Mac, you can come over and get yours too.
Domo arigatou gozaimasu.
Same to you, Mr. Roboto. All right.
And I have to rearrange myself.
Done with the mask thing. I know that the only thing I know about it is that the Japanese whiskeys generally do not use the peat and the smoke kind of flavors.
Correct. They tend to be, well, basically, Takasuru tried that because he wanted to create a very much like a really
authentic experience.
Yeah.
And the Japanese
didn't like it. It was too heavy to pair with the cuisine in Japan, so they couldn't. He could make the stuff, but he couldn't sell it. So what?
There is a problem right there.
Yeah. So basically, what's happened is that they've come up with whiskeys which are very similar to scotches from other parts of Scotland, but there's nothing that they make that is exactly like an Islay. Like you're not going to get a Lafroig, or a Lagavulin out of this. So
it's very, very light.
They are very light, and that's partly by design. They're also known for being very floral.
I was going to say floral, yeah. Mm-hmm. I actually was.
Okay.
Sure, I was going to say floral, yes.
But it's floral. But basically, this one, Hatozaki, is actually from a company called Kaikyo. And Kaikyo Distillery is the company of the Yonezawa family. And the Yonezawas are, again, they're a sake-making family.
Okay.
Around the beginning of the 20th century, they started making sochu, which is a native to Japan distilled beverage. Very strong stuff. It's kind of like vodka. And then very recently, only like 2017, they went into like a co-ownership arrangement with Mossburn, which some of you guys might know. Mossburn is a Scottish company. And Mossburn brought in pot stills, the big copper, proper stills, to make whiskey with these guys. What we're drinking is a placeholder. This is a blended whiskey because right now they are waiting for their true single malt to mature. Okay. So around 2022 or so, it should be ready. Japanese whiskeys, especially if they use there's a certain oak that they use for some of their barrels, which is Mizunara oak, which gives it a very different flavor than other casks that you could mature in, but you don't really get the effect of it unless you let it go for a full 20 years. If you do it less than that, it apparently is horrible. So they will use a combination of bourbon barrels, sherry barrels, and other things to get their blends.
Right.
But for the true Japanese native flavor, you use the Mizunara.
Okay. Enough jibber jabber. Enough jabber.
I'm a nerd. I can't help it.
Channeling my inner Mr. T. Enough jibber jabber.
Eat food, don't drink whiskey.
All right. So floral. Anything else? Nose notes. Sweet.
Very sweet.
Get a very sweet smell to it.
And I have to say, it does remind me a little bit of sake. This nose reminds me of some sweeter sake I've had.
I was gonna say, it's almost like wine-esque on the nose. All right, Mr. Mac, do you have any nose notes, or you just tip-tap typing to the peeps?
I'm talking to the peeps, and we're making sure all our levels are correct here. But I'm agreeing with a lot of what you're saying already. I really don't have anything else to add as far as that goes.
All right, sippy sip.
Kanpai.
Tastes very different than it smelled.
I'd say the nose is better.
Much.
But I have to tell you, I'm not surprised. Because, like I said, this is kind of like their, hey, we're here, we're going to start making whiskey, kind of, it's a blend. And here's the thing, when they do blends in Japan, they will import whiskeys from all parts of the world. Most of what's in here probably actually originated in Scotland.
Yeah.
But they don't have the same regulations that Scotland has on what they have to say about where they get things from. So
I get it's
very short.
Very burny. Mm-hmm. And the bitter taste, like the side back of my tongue is like twinging.
Yeah, I'm getting the tingle on the tip of my tongue because it's very...
I'm getting bitterness definitely on the back sides. Okay, I'm going to cut it with some water, see if that helps.
Yeah, I already did.
Okay. I did not.
I think that brought out see if you agree. I think that brought out the nose better, but I don't think it did anything for the flavor.
Okay. And I was hoping to like this too.
But
well, in fairness, I'm hoping to like all of them.
But here's the thing: we really need to try a good Japanese whiskey.
Yeah.
Because apparently they really do it right if it's one of the major players who's doing it.
There was like in my defense, at the store there was like 4 or 5 to choose from, and the guy at the store suggested this one, and I think it was, if I'm remembering correctly, and I may not be, so don't quote me, I think it was like $45 ish for the bottle. So I figured it couldn't be too bad.
Yeah, there's Japanese whiskeys that can range for hundreds of dollars a bottle.
Same thing with Scotch whiskeys.
Of course.
Like they're, $50, $60, like $50 roughly, if I had to pick a price point, is where Scotch starts getting pretty good. Like you can have an Ardbeg or like the Lafroig 10 at around the $50, $45 mark. So I figured I was kind of safe, but apparently not, at least with this one.
Well, I will say it is starting to relax a little bit. The longer I'm letting it sit, it is getting a little more palatable. And I could see pairing this with Japanese food, frankly, or anything light.
Color is non-existent.
Yeah.
This is like a step above water.
Yeah. But I think a lot of time they don't really care so much about color as a differentiator with this stuff, is the impression I get.
But if it's a blend of Scotch, you would expect there to be more color in it. Like from pulling out from the barrels, unless they're using very, very low age.
I think they're probably, for this project, they were probably getting in lower age stuff and then maturing it minimally at home in Japan, so to speak, and then and getting it on the market because they're trying to get a foothold. And the reason they are is because Japanese whiskey has become so popular, and it has actually, the reason you probably didn't see more than 4 specimens at the store is because
Maybe more than that.
Okay, but they've had there's been a bit of a dearth of whiskeys available. They went through there was such a massive buying up of it,
and the amount of time that has to elapse to get the full 12 years, 16 years,
and that's
20
why
years.
these guys are trying to jump in the game now.
Yeah,
because they want to catch it when it
some of that.
Yeah.
But
you're not getting a hold of the good stuff for the past couple of years is the impression I'm getting. That all started with the popularity in the West, which has caused the problem, the shortage. Started with Jim Murray back in 2015, declared one of Suntory's pieces, which is the Yamazaki Sherry Cask single malt, to be the best whiskey of 2015. Remember, we had heard about a statistic like that, but that's what happened. This guy, Jim Murray, and before him, Bill Murray, in the movie Lost in Translation, which was like 2003. Yeah, 2003. The plot of that movie is he's a has-been actor who's going to Japan to shoot a whiskey commercial. And it turns out he's doing a Suntory commercial. So that made people in the West aware of the Japanese whiskey. Because he says, Suntory time, or something. I've never seen the movie. But that's what started the problem, which is causing us to be stuck drinking this now.
So that was your Bill Murray impression?
I can't do a Bill Murray impression.
I don't think I can. I've never tried a Bill Murray.
I could sort of do a Dan Aykroyd, but it's always like Dan Aykroyd as Elwood Blues,
Yeah, fair point. Great movie. I love Blues Brothers.
It's my daughter's favorite movie.
Favorite
comedy.
I will argue this. Best movie soundtrack all time, Blues Brothers.
If you're going with a pop
so much
with
good stuff in
with
there.
using pop music as opposed to an original score, yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think you can beat John Williams, but that's a different category.
It's
Blues Brothers.
If you can beat it, because
typical dumb white dude. Blues Brothers is what introduced me to the blues and to R&B. So that movie really did a lot for me. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Well, I didn't see Blues Brothers probably until I was older. It didn't really appeal to me.
Oh.
But I remember my dad loved it when it came out. But when did it come out? Like 80?
Yeah, really early. Yeah,
around there.
Yeah.
So I would have been like 3. So
I was
in fairness,
12.
Parents probably shouldn't have been showing me Blues Brothers at age 3. Now I showed it to Liam at age 6, but that's fine.
With all the cussing.
Well, he just loves the car chases and the craziness
How
of
can
it.
you not?
Yeah.
Anyway, what do we think of this?
So, or what is this one? Hatozaki.
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 The name for this one comes from the lighthouse, which is featured on the bottle. It is a 17th century stone lighthouse, which is still there. It's near where the distillery is, so they named this particular product after that.
It is the finest Japanese whiskey. I don't know if I believe that,
I would not believe that
but
in the slightest.
that's what they say. Oh,
I do not believe that.
okay. Mac, Hatozaki, your thoughts, 1 to 10. Give us a score, and I'm going to try some more.
For me, I think it's definitely tastes a lot sweeter than some of the stuff we've had before.
Very sweet.
So my sweet tooth, or teeth, or all of them.
What's left of it?
Smell or taste?
Taste. I think like after it sits, I get like more of a candy type taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So like you got the initial like kick, and then it just kind of like mellows off really fast. Which I'm not sure if I like or not. So
That's a good point. I don't know
is-
if I like it.
It's not complex.
no, it's
Definitely not
straightforward.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of giving it like a 6. No, 7. So I'll go
Really?
7.3.
Really?
Really? You like it that much?
I actually kind of like it. Yeah.
I'll sell you a bottle cheap. Slightly used. Mr. Eric.
I like it well enough, but I don't like it like drinking scotch. It just makes me want to try the really good. I want to get the Suntory or the Nika, the good stuff. It just it whets my appetite for wondering what that's like, because everybody says it's awesome. I'd give it a 5, because I could see drinking this just casually, and I could see mixing with this for sure. I think this would be good in certain cocktail recipes, especially if you want a light kind of a cream note, a vanilla note. It is very sweet, very simple.
I'm going to throw in a random note that I'm just picking up on. Like paper. It smells a little bit like there's like this tiny hint of like
Shoji
vanilla
screen?
/ like paper or cardboard almost.
So like if you open a box of like a ream of like like you get from, I
Hammer
kind of
Mill?
get that. Yeah.
Hammermill Old World vodka.
Yeah.
It's not good.
See, I don't mind it, but it's harsh. It's
Very
got a
harsh.
harshness
It's harsh.
which
It's
doesn't.
got the bitter. It smells like paper and
I'm not finding it that bitter, but I am finding it harsh. It reminds me of more of a vodka than a whiskey, honestly.
yeah, something like just very plain.
You could easily use this in a cocktail that calls for vodka.
I'd say 2.3. Like, I don't like it. My low bar is 2. Anything under 2, I would politely refuse. This, I would ask if there's anything else at the party.
And was it 5 is you're willing to drive to buy it, right?
No, 8.
Oh, 8 is you're willing to go out of your way to buy it.
Like,
Okay.
8 is,
Okay.
like, this is good. I want this.
Right.
5 is, it's fine. It's bog standard. 2 is, I'd rather not, if I had a choice. So I'm going 2.3. It's not quite the I'd rather not. Like, I'm going to finish the rest of my pour here. But, yeah, not great by any stretch.